Hello everyone, it's Laffy Traffy. Welcome back. We are going into One Piece chapter 1079 after a bit of a break. I've been a little sick, but I'm back at it. If you didn't already see the live stream, feel free to check that out to see my live reactions for chapter 1077, 1078, and of course, the most recent chapter, 1079. But we're here to discuss the newest chapter, chapter 1079, The Red-Haired Pirates and Emperor's Crew. But before we get into it, make sure you subscribe and of course like the video. It helps out a lot and it means a lot, and I want to know all of your thoughts, of course, also down below. But getting into it, there's a few things we need to catch up on, one of which is York's betrayal. Definitely wasn't expecting that York was the traitor, but it was a really good setup from a standpoint of the plot, as she was the first one taken down by S-Boa. S-Snake. Whatever. It made the audience forget about her and made us feel as if she was kind of inconsequential, non-threatening, exactly everything that we needed to believe that she was for her to be the big twist that she was the traitor. And the jovial little girl type of personality is always so much more horrifying when it becomes the villain type. Because I like to roleplay and give voices to the characters as I am reading the chapter, and I was freaking myself out for the creepy little girl voice that I had for her, because, I mean, in canon, she was giggling and laughing with like little hearts there, saying that, oh, well, I just want to be a celestial dragon, Vegapunk, and there can only be one. It's just a little bit more horrifying when it comes from a little girl type character. But her MO being want and desire makes a lot of sense that she would want the most wealth and power in the world of the celestial dragons, the top royalty. It makes sense that she would be the traitor to sell out Vegapunk in order to possibly gain that position in the world government. Horrifying! I am interested to see where it goes though. Will she eliminate Vegapunk? That seems to be where it's going, but surely, of course, someone's gonna have to save Vegapunk here. In typical Oda fashion, it's probably gonna be Shaka, who's somehow not dead, maybe. Or maybe someone of the Straw Hats will go find them. Maybe Bonnie would show up there, but Bonnie's a little occupied right now, so I don't think it would be Bonnie. It would just hopefully have to be one of the Straw Hats if it's not Shaka himself. Hopefully not, but you never know. But let me know your thoughts on what could happen to Vegapunk. Now, the larger scale Egghead incident. We end this part of the chapter by zooming out and seeing a Blackbeard adjacent flag and ship approaching the island. I mean, realistically, what is this gonna be? It's just going to be Law, who of course won the battle, and is coming to save Luffy with a newly acquired Blackbeard ship. That's really all it's gonna be, so we're gonna get the good news that Law actually won. Maybe Blackbeard got distracted, you know, whatever you want to say that happened, but Law's coming to help. And on the off chance that that doesn't happen, like the 1% chance that Blackbeard is actually showing up to the island, that definitely paints a bad picture for the Straw Hats. Also Law, but we're not going to talk about that. Once everyone who is supposed to be showing up shows up, we're going to have quite the army of antagonists coming at the Straw Hats. We've got Blackbeard, Kizaru, Saint Saturn, and the CP0 agents, who, of course, when Saint Saturn shows up, they're going to switch sides. They're not going to continue to fight against the world government with the Straw Hats, unless something crazy happens where Saint Saturn says, hey, fuck you guys, you've been fighting with the Straw Hats, we're gonna eliminate you too. The CP0 are going to switch sides and fight alongside Saint Saturn and Kizaru, and we're just gonna have a lot of bad things happening, and really it's only the Straw Hats who can stand up against them. Vegapunk's satellites have shown that they have some battle experience, but they're not really fighters. That's not really their purpose. Vegapunk himself doesn't seem to be quite the fighter, and Bonnie is, like I said, a little preoccupied. So it's really just the Straw Hats versus all of these really heavy hitters, and now we're seeing possibly Blackbeard showing up as well to top it all off. And what adds to this sense of impending doom most is the future narrator. The idea that the catastrophe has already happened and we're just watching the lead up to its imminent end is a little bit more suspenseful and adds a lot of worry to the story, because it does happen. Now, what is everyone going to do to survive it. And I mentioned this in the live stream, but I just want to mention here that I've seen a theory that Usopp is the narrator from the future, and it's actually just Usopp telling the story of the Straw Hats to the future generations. I just want to say that that's a really neat idea, and I think it would be really sweet. But yeah, every now and then when we get that future narrator, I really feel that intense suspense about what's about to happen, because if the narrator's here, something big is going to happen. And they mentioned that this impending Buster Call will be even of higher caliber than Ohara. That is definitely saying something. Meanwhile, we've got Robin on the island to witness it all again. It's spelling trouble, and the Egghead incident that shakes the world is currently playing out before our eyes, and we just have to grasp onto something and hope that the Straw Hats can go through. I mean, of course they will, but it's still suspenseful when the narrator says, like, yeah, there's 1 day remaining until the Egghead incident. I was like, oh god, horrifying. And now, what we've been waiting for. My notes. It's a struggle to put into words what this chapter is. Shanks is just truly on another level. Shanks' ability to use his future sight to see the catastrophe that Kid was about to cause, to close the distance within seconds and stop him, is incredibly impressive. It brings me back to when Katakuri was first introduced with his future sight, and everyone was going crazy about how just broken that is and incredible, and how powerful Katakuri seemed. That's what this is, but it's even more impressive because we already know that future sight exists. We've seen Luffy use it, we've seen Katakuri, we know that it exists, and it's still so impressive to see Shanks do it like this. It's just crazy. These moments are just beautiful. And we have to give credit where credit is due. Kid was going to enact a decent amount of damage to Shanks's allied crews. He was gonna explode the whole fleet, you know, he was gonna do a lot of damage. But, you know, good for him, but he didn't. And while I am laughing at Kid's expense, keep in mind that I do really like Kid as a character, and I think that this might be kind of a fitting end for him. I'll get into that in a second, but just to say that I really do like Kid's character. I never really shit on him. It was fun to shit on him, but I did like him as a character, and to see him absolutely obliterated here, it was sad. Like, once the rubble settled, it was sad to see it. But going back to Shanks, I love the dichotomy of Shanks and the lesson that he taught Luffy in chapter 1 being presented here now in the newest, most recent chapter. 1079 chapters later, we're still seeing the same Shanks that we met earlier. Shanks didn't seem entirely pissed off that Eustass was here. We knew that it was going up for a fight, but Shanks was kind of offhandedly remarking about his background when his crew was giving him the information from the South Blue, and he was mentioning how Wano wasn't that long ago. I wonder if the kid even had chance to heal up. I wonder if he's fully healed or not, you know? So perhaps if Kid didn't do what he did, Shanks might have given him the option, again, not that Kid would have taken it, but Shanks might have given him the option to turn back, or maybe we can talk, you know, it didn't go so well for you last time, hey buddy, maybe we can talk about it this time. But it wasn't until Kid got cocky and overconfident, aiming his firepower at Shanks's allies, that Shanks snapped. And he snapped. Once Shanks got wind that Kid was going to attack his allies and succeed, let's just say you do not mess with Shanks's buddies, because it was immediate and quick and efficient. Now, unless I'm missing a very vital scene somewhere in the manga, anime, the story at large, this is the first time that we're really seeing Shanks act with an intense move. We saw him do the drive-by at Wano and kind of loom intimidatingly over Wano at Green Bull, and of course we saw his interactions and fights with Film Red, but that's non-canon. We haven't really seen Shanks do what he did in this chapter, and it was quick. We only got a glimpse. We got a panel or two of the level of destruction that Shanks is capable of, but it hit. His attack hit. It hit Kid, and it hit right here. Like, damn. To think that Kid had a chance was indeed laughable, but I did think that Kid at least would put up a fighting chance, similar to Law and Blackbeard. You know, we don't know the outcome of that scene, but Law is putting up a decent fight against Blackbeard. However, with Kid, it really did take me by surprise. I was not expecting that. The Kid didn't have a chance. He was obliterated, annihilated, eviscerated, decimated, eradicated. And as if that wasn't enough, as if one-shotting Kid, knocking his first mate out by proximity, making his crew beg for Shanks to stop, making them offer the poneglyph rubbings, forcing an immediate plea of surrender from the infamous and vicious Kid Pirates, with a captain worth 3 billion berries wasn't enough. Let's just put it like this. Shanks' allies coming up to try and stop Kid was the bump. Shanks putting a stop to Kid and eviscerating him, one-shotting him, was the set. Then Dory and Broggy coming in with the dual team-up Hikaku sovereignty to completely destroy their entire ship and crew was the spike. Because Shanks leading the giant warriors against Kid, a pirate worth 3 billion berries. It's just incomprehensibly badass. We hype up Shanks a lot, and this is why. I don't see it as a problem. Why do you? Why do you see it as a problem? Comment below if you think that Shanks should be hyped up, rightfully so. AKA, did you read the chapter? But no, it's really impressive. I mean, Shanks is such a long-standing character, and to see him stepping it up, yes, it's been a while. Yes, this is the first time we've seen him fight, but he is just such a powerhouse, and digging into that even a little bit is oh so satisfying. Now, enough about Shanks, because we can just continue to say the same thing, but let's talk about Kid finally as we wrap up. What is the outcome? Now, I posed the idea earlier and in my live stream that this might honestly be a fitting end for Kid, and I feel mean saying that, and I do genuinely, I felt a sadness when I saw Kid's ship explode from the inside. I laugh, but it is really sad, and it is unfortunate, and I just don't see his character coming back with the dignity that he had after what happened today. He's overconfident and cocky, and that was ultimately his downfall. It's the joke that Kid is Luffy without plot armor, sure, but Kid just doesn't have the strength to stand up to all these opponents that he wishes he could. And eventually, he has to meet that cap. Shanks was that cap. And to see him go out in a blaze of glory against Shanks, I mean, that's pretty honorable if you consider it that way. I mean, it took Shanks to take you down. That is impressive. It would be a fitting end to his story. Let him rest. Let the man rest. With the aftermath of what we saw in this chapter, it really is hard to see Kid getting back in and joining the end war, joining the fight, really having a place in the end story. But it is One Piece, so he'll probably be up soon, and we'll get more Kid in the future, which is fine, but yeah, that's how it goes. And guess what? Even if Law's down, even if it's not Law riding in on Blackbeard's ship coming to help Luffy on Egghead Island, we can say that Law put up a hell of a better fight against Blackbeard than Kid did against Shanks, and that's for damn sure. And this was the chapter 1079 of One Piece. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did, because this was immeasurably hype, in my opinion. Love Shanks, love everything that's happening. I'm excited to see what the Egghead incident has in store, how Vegapunk will get out of this, and how Kid is gonna get out of this one. Will Luffy be mad at Shanks for destroying and obliterating Kid? Who knows? Let me know all your thoughts about all of these different topics down below, and of course subscribe. Make sure you subscribe and like the video. It helps out a lot. And here is Beppo. I did not have him set up, but here he is for the outro. So have a great day, follow your dreams, and check me next time. This is Beppo, signing out. Bye! Shoo!